In LA this week,
Vice President Joe Biden sits down with LA Mayor Eric Garcetti to talk about a minimum wage increase for the city of Los Angeles. While here at City Hall, community members and the LA City Council raised the stakes in their plan to increase salaries. I'm Gil Reyes with the story next.
And an artist who made his mark on the Berlin Wall brings his talents here to downtown LA. And what started out as a novelty event is no longer that. Ciclavia is back and more popular than ever. We take you to the car-free party straight ahead. Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ellen Chang. Days before President Obama's visit to Los Angeles, Vice President Joe Biden also stopped by to talk about the city's plan to raise the minimum wage. Gil Reyes reports from Lincoln Heights.
The Vice President of the United States visits one of LA's thriving small businesses. LA Baking Company makes wedding and quinceañera cakes from these ingredients stacked on its shelves. Speaking with business owners, Vice President Joe Biden says raising the minimum wage is part of the recipe for economic success.
And the ricocheting effect means it will create more jobs because more money's flowing back into the economy. People are buying more of your baked goods. People are buying your toys. People are for real.
The Vice President is on the same page as LA Mayor Eric Garcetti. The mayor is championing such a wage hike for the lowest paid workers in Los Angeles.
Where too many people can't live the American dream of working hard, keeping a job, and supporting their families.
Mayor Garcetti's plan would raise the minimum wage over the next 3 years to $13.25 an hour. Any wage increase after the year 2017 would be adjusted to the rate of inflation. Local community groups say that's good, but not good enough. They want a $15 an hour minimum wage.
The CEO of McDonald's makes over $9,000 an hour. They're spending $68,000 an hour on the bombing that they're doing right now in Syria. There's plenty of money here. Members
of the LA City Council are considering appeasing both the mayor and labor groups by looking into a possible $15.25 minimum wage by the end of the decade. The plan is backed by the same council members who supported a similar wage hike for workers at large hotels. Many business groups oppose the hotel plan, fearing layoffs.
Hotels will cut back on staff, and those staff who lose their jobs, their sky will fall.
In each of your districts, there will be layoffs and terminations of over 2,000 people.
But the vice president doesn't see it that way.
It does not cost jobs. It does not slow economic growth. It speeds economic growth.
As the debate over the minimum wage continues. Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Labor groups say 46% of workers in Los Angeles make less than $15 an hour, not enough to cover basic necessities. In addition to fair wages, affordable housing is a constant hot topic here in the city. Rasha Goel tells us about affordable housing and park space that are in the works for downtown LA.
Councilmember Jose Huizar recently announced $8.4 million in funding for affordable housing, public open space and recreation, and other community-related issues.
Everyone is benefiting, from the homeless to building more parks for kids to providing funding for a charter school called Metro and a charter school called Para los Niños. We are doing whatever we can to be inclusive in downtown LA.
As a community benefit, Greenland USA, a mixed-use urban community developer, will be providing the funding as part of their agreement to build Metropolis, a development near LA Live that will create housing and retail spaces for businesses.
This project will be able to link the LA Live and also the financial district to redefine the LA downtown skyline.
The councilman worked with Greenland USA and the Los Angeles Community Redevelopment Agency to allocate the funds to various community-serving entities.
It'll allow us to even create a safer, more home-like environment for the women.
We're all very appreciative of the fact that Greenland USA has made these very generous donations to the community. We certainly will put those dollars to good use in renovating some of our older buildings to improve the quality of life for the residents.
Hopes are, as federal funding has become limited, More funding from the private sector will become available to help create community improvements.
As we look at the future of what we want to be as a city, it's a city that includes everyone, not only in racial diversity, but income diversity, and that we do more for those in need.
I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Local authorities seized tens of thousands of illegal pharmaceutical drugs during sting operations in immigrant communities. Gil Reyes reports on the latest crackdown from the LA City Attorney's Office.
This table can barely contain them, a stash of illegal pharmaceuticals that authorities say are either banned in the U.S. or sold without doctors' prescriptions.
They target senior citizens, kids, members of immigrant communities. Even with health care reform, there are still many members of our community who don't have a regular treating physician.
That's why people buy them. No health insurance or doctor's permissions are needed for medications to treat pain or enhance your appearance. Everything from steroids to antibiotics, diet pills to silicone products.
Manufactured in places such as Central America, El Salvador, Guatemala, and you can tell that from the manufacturer boxes as well as places in Mexico.
During its 8-week investigation, the LA City Attorney's Office has filed criminal charges against several people accused of selling potentially dangerous drugs without a license. Authorities say their potency ranged from totally useless to highly dangerous. They also say the products were sold in swap meets and neighborhood markets in largely Spanish-speaking communities. During this latest crackdown, authorities urge people never to purchase medication at swap meets and outdoor markets. You never know what you're getting into. It's better to be safe than sorry and always purchase your medication from your doctor or pharmacy. Outside City Hall, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The City Attorney's Task Force is made up of LAPD, LA County Sheriffs, and LA County health officials. As we reported last week, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and in that spirit, the neighborhood of Watts held a simple bike ride that had a big message. Yana Kay reports.
Today we honor those who are going through cancer treatment, like Wanda. We honor those who are cancer survivors, like Sandra, Branimir, Crystal, and Diego. We ride for you.
A fitting tribute from Councilmember Joe Buscaino as these riders, all wearing the color pink, jumped on their bikes and hit the road for the 5th annual Cancer Awareness Bike Ride in Watts.
We out here to support all cancer, not just breast cancer, but all cancer.
The annual bike ride held this year at the Ted Watkins Park encourages bikers of all ages and the community to come together and show their support for those suffering from the disease.
We all have mothers, we have sisters, we have daughters, and cancer is a disease that's it seems like it's touching everybody.
And the disease even hit close to home for Buscaino, who showed his support by riding his own bike.
My sister-in-law Sandra has been diagnosed with cancer, and through incredible treatment, she is now cancer-free.
With a fresh farmers market located at the park, the event also promoted healthy living while bikers rode through Linwood and other Watts communities.
It's our way to honor those who are suffering with cancer or have passed with cancer. Unfortunately, as you can see, a lot of people in our community is affected by cancer.
And officials hope that these kinds of community awareness events will lead to more research and eventually a cure. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
Officials hope that the Watts neighborhood soon becomes part of Ciclavia and will actually take you to the most recent Ciclavia car-free event in about 15 minutes. The LAPD has a new batch of sworn officers to protect and serve our city. Gil Reyes reports from the latest graduation ceremony at LAPD headquarters.
A total of 22 men and women make up this latest graduating class. Officer Irvin Pereira is excited about a new career helping others.
I dreamed about this day many years ago. And to live this moment and to be here with my family is just the best day of my life.
But Officer Pereira joins the force during a downturn for the department. Following the controversial police shooting of an unarmed black man in South LA, public confidence in the LAPD has eroded. Data shows violent crime has also increased. So far this year, it's up 7.6% compared to the same time last year. 2014 is on course to become the first year that violent crime numbers have gone up, following 11 straight years of annual reductions. Mayor Eric Garcetti addressed the graduates.
Not many people dedicate their professional lives to putting their lives on the line for others. It is the greatest sacrifice that a human being can make. And that takes a toll on you. But I want you to capture the feeling that you have here today. Let every single day that you serve till the day of your retirement feel like this, your first day, when your training is sharp.
And do so with honor to protect and defend the people of this city. But you will not succeed without integrity.
Parting words for a new batch of officers with new challenges ahead. At LAPD headquarters, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Of those 22 graduates, 19 will go on to serve with the LAPD. An acclaimed artist whose work represents an important political movement has now brought his unique brand of street art to Los Angeles. Here's Rasha Goel.
Thierry Noir is a French artist who is said to have been the first street artist to paint a mural on the Berlin Wall. His paintings, which often feature cartoon-like profiles, are considered iconic and can still be seen on the East Side Gallery in Germany. Now the renowned artist's work is etched on a wall in downtown Los Angeles. The reveal falls on the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall.
The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989. So because Los Angeles and Berlin are sister cities, so the idea was to make an homage to that fall of the Berlin Wall.
The black and white mural depicting various characters is located in the alley behind the Spring Street Park in the Old Bank District. Noir's work is symbolic of the newfound freedom after the reunification of Germany and the end of the Cold War.
He was a voice for freedom, he was a voice for the new Germany, for the United Germany, and we have such a great relationship with that city that it's very cool to get all those things to work together.
Aside from the political relevance, Thierry Noir says this wall is also special for him because it's 12 feet high, just like the Berlin Wall, and it's also the second largest mural he's painted outside the Berlin Wall. And his message for the younger generation.
It's just a small message to say, do not repeat the mistakes of your parents.
This is his famous signature piece all over, so we're very happy about this.
After all, it's not every day a piece of European history is commemorated on an American wall. In downtown Los Angeles, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
This isn't the first time Thierry Noir's work has been featured in Los Angeles. He also painted the Vendy Museum's Berlin Wall segment displayed on Wilshire Boulevard in the Miracle Mile, which represents the spirit of collaboration with our city that began in 2009 with the 20th anniversary of the fall of the wall. And that takes us to This Week in Tweets. You can check out reporter Rasha Goel posing with artist Thierry Noir in this photo posted on LA This Week's Twitter page. That's LATW35. You can also see Noir signing his mural with the paintbrush and white paint. We'll be posting photos and videos regularly on Twitter to keep you up to date on what we're working on. Again, you can find us at LATW35. And Rasha Goel is also working on bringing you the inspiring story of Craig Miller, who founded AIDS Walk LA. We'll have that story for you next week. Councilman Paul Koretz tweeted about it as well, writing, "Today in Council, Councilman Paul Krikorian and I honored AIDS Walk LA founder Craig Miller. AIDS Walk LA celebrates 30 years. And the city of LA has a new poet laureate. At LA Mayor's office tweeted, "Congrats to Luis J. Rodriguez on his selection as poet laureate of LA by Mayor Eric Garcetti." The tweet also included a link that shares more information about him. Rodriguez is best known for his memoir, Always Running, La Vida Loca, Gang Days in LA. As poet laureate, Rodriguez will serve a 2-year term promoting the city's rich literary community and celebrating the written word. And at a time when Los Angeles is celebrating a filming incentives tax break package to stem the tide of runaway productions, it's working hard also to attract productions from overseas, namely those from China.
你好吗? 欢迎到 Los Angeles.
Saying, "How are you and welcome to Los Angeles" in his best Mandarin Chinese, Mayor Eric Garcetti showed his hospitality to the Chinese film community when he spoke at the first official U.S.-China Film and Television Industry Expo, held at the LA Convention Center.
China is the biggest market for film in the world outside the United States, and the growth has been nothing short of staggering. The Chinese box office topped $3.6 billion last year, and for the first 6 months of this year, it's at $2.2 billion, an increase of 25% just from last year.
This expo comes on the heels of a newly approved $330 million filming incentives package here in California, aimed at preventing film productions from fleeing and luring foreign productions here to Los Angeles. With the translator by her side, Zhang Zheng from China's Yunnan Film Group praised the inaugural event.
From the feedback from the audiences, they all said they've learned so much about making movies in China and the cooperations. And the seminar also talks about the challenges, difficulties, and what you need to think about when doing business in China or in the U.S.
Seminars hosted by industry insiders were well attended, and outside, vendors from Chinese production companies to American players like the Writers Guild of America and the Producers Guild of America set up shop.
We definitely wanted to be here to represent. The Producers Guild has a very active international committee, and so this is the perfect kind of event that we can represent our members and as well as expose the Producers Guild to the many Chinese companies that are here today.
Back in August, Mayor Garcetti also welcomed Kui Tiankai, ambassador of the People's Republic of China, to City Hall to discuss strengthening economic and cultural relations between China and LA. And what better way to start than by sending a message to China's robust film market that Los Angeles is ready for lights, camera, and action. And the newly approved tax credits for film and TV production don't just benefit Hollywood, Burbank, and other communities with big studio lots. Smaller area cities are also affected. Gil Reyes reports from a conference of regional mayors in the city of Monterey Park.
This is money that's going to your constituents' pockets, jobs that are going to your constituents.
The City of LA's Associate Film Czar, Rajiv Dalal, telling this room full of California mayors about the perks that come with new film and TV tax credits. The governor approved them last month. $330 million in annual tax breaks for the entertainment industry remain the talk of Tinseltown. But cities just outside LA also receive a 5% tax credit bonus, icing on the cake when mayors from different cities work together.
So wherever you are and traveling, of course, advocate for your city first, but we really want to build a region-wide network of why your residents might work in my city and vice versa, of why it's important to bring us all together.
LA Mayor Eric Garcetti thanks city mayors from throughout our region for helping to push the tax deal forward. Now he's asking for more assistance, from making sure buildings are retrofitted for earthquakes, to extending the Metro Gold Line all the way to Claremont, and increasing the minimum wage to help struggling families. Local elected leaders agree there's strength in numbers when working towards common goals.
I think many of these issues, as we all know, don't stop at our city borders. They transcend over. Together, we can make much more of an impact, and many times at a fraction of the cost, which is always really great for our budgets.
And hopefully for our entire region as well. In the city of Monterey Park, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The neighborhood of Boyle Heights recently got a much-needed makeover as folks answered the call of community service. Yana Kay has more.
These volunteers are removing all the overgrown weeds and debris to make room for a community garden. About 1,000 volunteers rolled up their sleeves and went to work to clean up and beautify Boyle Heights, one of the most historic neighborhoods in the city.
Because everyone has to do their part to serve the community, to be able to coming together and, helping people that are in need and people who would benefit from our help.
Los Angeles City Controller Ron Galperin was on hand doing his part and giving folks some encouragement.
That's also one of the greatest ways that we can help with economic development in this neighborhood and all over the city of Los Angeles.
This annual event is put on by LA Works, an organization that mobilizes thousands of volunteers to give back to their community across the city.
We think by volunteering and being engaged in the community, you're going to have a much better sense of what's going on in terms of the quality of life for all of us.
Bob Johnson also says this event provides an opportunity for folks from all over the city to come together and get to know different neighborhoods while helping out a good cause. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
The Valley's busy orange bus line is headed for major improvements. A parade honoring our law enforcement officials and city leaders support decriminalizing petty crimes. These stories in CityBeat. Council members Bob Blumenfield and Paul Krikorian take a key first step toward upgrading the Orange Line. They've directed city departments to make immediate and short-term improvements to improve the speed and efficiency of the heavily used busway by considering increasing the intersection crossing speeds from 10 miles per hour to not more than 25 miles per hour, and possibly even converting the bus line to light rail transit. Starting in the West Valley, the Orange Line passes through each of Councilman Blumenfield's 5 communities across the San Fernando Valley before terminating in North Hollywood, just steps from Councilmember Krikorian's district office. The Orange Line first opened back in 2005.
My 1020 is Engine Company 27. I'm code 4.
The annual 10-4 day parade of vintage police cars took to the streets a couple of days earlier this year on 10-2. Members of the California Highway Patrol, the Los Angeles Police Department, and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office all took part in the parade that stepped off or drove off from the Los Angeles Fire Museum. Special guests included actors from famous TV police shows and the police vehicles made famous by those shows, such as the classic TV series Highway Patrol that aired from 1955 to 59, and Adam 12. The event, hosted by Councilmember Tom LaBonge, honors public safety officers and all that they do to protect and serve our region. Los Angeles becomes the first major city to support Proposition 47, the voter initiative on the November ballot that seeks to decriminalize nonviolent petty crimes such as simple drug possession and petty theft. Councilman Curran Price introduced the motion in City Council, which was approved by the LA City Council. Prop 47 would change low-level nonviolent petty crimes from felonies to misdemeanors, helping to save California an estimated $250 million annually, and curb levels of incarceration, especially among youth of color. That money would then be used for crime prevention and mental health programs. One Valley councilman wants to get residents in his district started on a path to better health, and he did so by helping them with the ABCs of planting a fall garden. Here's Anna Marcos.
You had to stick your fingers in the dirt for this one. Pacoima city leaders put on their first ever home garden workshop to get their city-dwelling residents more in touch with Mother Earth, their health, and the joys of gardening.
They have to take an active role in the community as well as in their own health. My district suffers from the highest rates of diabetes that's preventable amongst children, highest rates of diabetes in adults. And so if you get a little active, like riding your bike in like I did today, or planting a fall garden and cooking more at home, not only do you save money, but you also save yourself and the community.
The workshop offered a class, a cooking demonstration, and produce and garden giveaways, as well as activities for the kids.
Especially a city as has a lot of poverty, it's great to have education because the more we know, the better we live.
A lot of times the things that are offered to us at the stores are not of the best quality, and it's a lot easier to just grow it at home and you know exactly where your fruits and vegetables are coming from.
Actually, it doesn't take very much to do. Once you do the original outlay for your fall garden, it's a little maintenance. It's just making a little time every day to do a little exercise. It's just a little maintenance.
The big message here, no matter what your income level or lifestyle, health and good food are within your reach. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
There are plans for other similar workshops, including one on composting. In this week's list of things to do, Swan Lake, a treasure hunt in Chinatown, and Boo at the Zoo. Los Angeles Ballet's acclaimed production of Swan Lake returns to UCLA's Royce Hall. Choreographed by artistic directors Colleen Neary and Thordal Christensen, it's the abiding tale of a swan queen, a prince, an evil spell, and an eternal love. You can catch the performance on Friday, October 17th from 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Other dates are available. UCLA's Royce Hall is located at 340 Royce Drive. For tickets, other dates, and details, go to losangelesballet.org. Traditional temples, hidden courtyards, and the mysterious Mr. Lee. We're talking about the Great Chinatown Hunt, an exciting clue-solving adventure through one of the city's most colorful, diverse, and historic districts. The hunt takes place on Saturday, October 18th from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. with check-in at 9:30 a.m. at Chungking Plaza, located at 949 North Hill Street. Once on the hunt, you and your team will search for clues throughout this lively neighborhood, discover ancient traditions, and stumble upon picturesque alleyways and bustling shops. The event is organized by City Race, which plans 3-hour hunts through Southern California's many diverse neighborhoods. For cost and other details, go to racela.com. Trick-or-treating, jack-o'-lantern carving demonstrations, magicians, and much more. That's what's on tap at the annual Boo at the Zoo event, taking place at the LA Zoo on 2 consecutive weekends, on Saturday and Sunday, October 18th and 19th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and again the following weekend. The 2 spooky and safe weekends also include the opportunity to see special feedings for gorillas, elephants, orangutans, and other zoo residents as they enjoy pumpkins filled with treats to eat and play with. All activities are free with paid zoo admission. The LA Zoo is located at Griffith Park at 5333 Zoo Drive. Go to lazoo.org for details. And that's a look at some upcoming things to do. And it's become a staple of city life here in Los Angeles, the occasional shutting down of big, bustling streets for the car-free festival, Ciclavia. Rasha Goel has more.
From a route marked from Echo Park to downtown Los Angeles to Boyle Heights, Angelinos had the chance to head to the east side for the first time at this October's Ciclavia event. Even city leaders took some time out of their busy schedule to enjoy the city.
This is the 10th time that we've closed down a space 4 times longer than Central Park to just experience the lifeblood of the city.
You see things when you're on a bike that you just don't see otherwise, the nuances. You see more of the businesses, you see more of the neighborhoods, more of the details of each neighborhood. And it's a really special experience.
Attendees could enjoy the experience by cycling, walking, rollerblading, or just about anything that didn't involve driving a car.
10 years from now, when we still have Ciclavia, we're going to look back at Ciclavia and say, Ciclavia was the main impetus for all of us to continue to get to know one another through bicycles and other forms of transportation.
Ciclavia has become a celebration of both public spaces and public gatherings in Los Angeles and has received a great response.
I think we should do it as often as possible. Once a month would be great.
So you see all these type of people and all these families, and it's pretty amazing.
And if you happen to miss this one, don't worry, Ciclavia will be back in December and will have a new route running through South Los Angeles. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
The term Ciclavia, with an O, originated in Colombia, where on each Sunday and public holidays, main streets in certain cities are blocked off to cars for runners, skaters, and cyclists. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ellen Chang. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook or find us on Twitter at LATW35. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.